Hi there. I am Elle. And I decided to come on a little bit early to allow people to start coming into the room if they want to. I hope this is going to be a good discussion, that I'll be able to get a few points across from my point of view because I can, because this is YouTube, and in this world, the deity above allowed YouTube to be created for many different reasons. One of them is, I believe, discussing our opinions, which differ, and our viewpoints, and maybe giving people some things to think about, giving me some things to think about. I'm really hoping we can do that. I'm hoping we can achieve that, and that we can keep things in a modicum of balance in here, that people can be heard and feel that this is a place that it's safe to talk, safe to disagree, safe to put their opinions out, etc. That's what I'm aiming at during this particular live stream. I will be taking a break probably midway or at some point when I just need to get up and get some more tea refreshed. I got my teacup right here. So when you're talking a lot, your voice gets kind of raspy after a while and you need to have a little bit of tea or something. So yes, I will be taking a break, and then during that time, I would hope that all of you would stay in and continue to discuss the situation at hand. In this case, we're going to be talking about Amber Heard and some of the micro expressions I have seen on her face that lead me to believe that she may have traits of personality disorder. I am not quite leaning towards the histrionic being one of them, even though Dr. Curry insists that that is one of the things she found in her evaluation. Good morning, Marley. I'm not leaning towards that. I'm leaning more towards what looks to be like maybe borderline, possibly narcissistic traits. I'm going to try not to say personality disorder because I have not diagnosed Amber Heard with anything. I have not met her. I don't think I would be comfortable meeting her or having her sit in front of me at all because she makes me uneasy. I don't know. I think I probably would be very shy in the presence of a celebrity, although to me they're just people, basically. But yeah, I don't think I would be comfortable diagnosing her. But I am comfortable saying from a distance, this is what I see on the camera. Now, a lot of people could say, well, she's in court and she may be kind of putting on a performance of a sort, but I remind you that these people are under oath. Now, interesting to me, the oath that they take no longer seems to say, so help you God. At least I haven't heard that in the recent court oaths that I've heard. So apparently God has been thrown out of a lot of the oaths that people take, which to me kind of gives them a little bit of, ooh, well, if God ain't watching, I can say what I want. Just in my opinion. I'm kind of being silly there, but honestly, I thought that was interesting that a lot of times I've watched a few court cases recently, and it just says you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you, or something like that, or as it applies to this case, or something like that, but not so help you God. They just tossed him out of the schools. They tossed him out of the courtroom, apparently, from what I've seen. I could be wrong. Let me know if you've heard something otherwise. I just haven't seen that done. So I'm going to start out at 1 o'clock. I'm not going to start that now yet because I did say 1 o'clock. I want to give people time to come in and honor that time that I chose because, if they're nice enough to come in and give me their presence and share their opinions and their views, I want to be nice enough to honor the time that I put on it so that it gives them time to be here. So they don't say, well, she already started without me, So yeah, I know, Marley. And I think they do because, well, number one, upbringing has a lot to do with it. Personality that you're born with has a lot to do with it. Hollywood definitely has a lot to do with it. They talk about grooming, and apparently Amber Heard was allegedly trying to paint the idea that Johnny Depp kind of groomed her for abuse or something like that. If anybody grooms anybody, in my opinion, it's Hollywood. Oh, okay. Oh, no problem, Marley. I'm glad you're here too. You're the first one that has chimed in, so at least I know somebody's watching. Well, actually, that's not true. There was somebody that chimed in earlier. I blocked them because I don't need a bunch of controversy telling me what to do and what I can say and how to say it on my channel. Nobody's going to come in here and do that and not be blocked. It's just not going to happen. It's my channel. I have a right to give an opinion on my channel and present things in any way, shape, or form I choose, as does anybody else that has a channel in here. And you have a right to disagree with me. However, if I feel that I am being attacked, ganged up on, bossed around, I just block you because I don't need to deal with that. I don't have to. All right. Anyhow, so that person now knows why they were blocked. All right. And if you do decide to come back in my room, person that I blocked, come in a different name, obviously, because you can't get in that name. Hi, AC. And come in with a good attitude. Don't come at me because I don't appreciate that. And I'm not going to tolerate that. I don't deserve to be disrespected right off the bat by somebody I don't even know, and told how to run my room and how to say things. And no, not going to happen. Anyway, yeah. So I have some notes here on my little L worksheet. Has my little initial on it. And I'll be sharing those in just a bit at around 1 o'clock. But meanwhile, I'm just going to kind of greet y'all and see what's up and see how you're all doing. So AC Slater, what's up? What's up is I'm going to be talking about micro expressions on the face of Amber Heard during her recent court situation and giving my opinion about some personality disorder traits that she may have. But of course, not diagnosing because I do not know. I am not her therapist, would not be her therapist, would not want to be her therapist. However, I do like giving an opinion. And when the Chris Watts thing happened, I gave my behavior analysis on him. And according to many people, I was what they call spot on. So I thought, why not give this a go too? We'll see if I'm spot on or totally off the wall or out in left field or whatever. But I'm going to do it because I have a right to do it, and I'm going to. All right. So anyhow, I am going to let a few people know that I am here, just in case they want to also be here and join in the discussion. What is new and what's up with you, AC Slater? What's happening in your neck of the woods? Okay, let me turn this sound down and get this so it doesn't echo. And hit the share button. Because I got some people that may want to join me. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people did. I mean, he just wasn't convincing me of anything about him being so worried about his family and all that. I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of body language. I mean, I'm not the best. There's people that are professionally trained in it and they're like absolutely excellent at it. But I do like to give it a shot. I like to give it a go. Hold on a second. I just gave her the cleansing your intestine link to this person that I'm inviting. That is not what I had in mind at all. Although that's a good one too. You're keeping your eye on the sparrow. I don't know what that means. Do you want to clarify? What's the sparrow? Or who is the sparrow, should I say? Okay. I'll let everybody know that needs to know. I don't know. I'm starting to feel a little bit uneasy about you, so I'm going to just take care of that right now. Because I happen to know people that have alt names Oh, Captain Jack. What do you mean you're keeping your eye on him? I don't know what you mean by that. Keeping your eye on him. Oh, let's see here. Go back to that. The only eye on the sparrow I know is that song. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he's watching me. That's about God. It's not about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, I don't think. Okay, and honestly, I don't know Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. I have never seen Pirates of the Caribbean. I attempted to watch it, and it just didn't interest me in the least. There was nothing in it that held my attention or made me want to keep watching. Also, I have never seen one movie with Amber Heard in it. That I would recognize or remember. I'm not a huge movie watcher. I'm very selective in the movies that I watch. So I've never seen her acting. So therefore, my opinion of her acting on the stand, so to speak, would be very unbiased because I've never seen her act. I don't know what her acting is like. If I have seen her, I wouldn't know that it was her. I didn't know much about Amber Heard. Literally, the only thing I knew about Amber Heard or ever have known about her is when this whole thing started where I guess she was married to Johnny Depp. And the whole fighting thing started happening, and they were showing inside their apartment and a bunch of arguing and screaming and yelling and whatever. I saw like 1 or 2 videos of that, and that's all I know of her. So I'm literally just looking at behavior. I don't know the personality of the people involved. I have no idea. Never been friends with any of them, either of them, I should say, or anybody in the courtroom or anything like that. I just know what I see, and I can only comment on that. And disclaimer, this is coming from me. This is my personal opinion, my viewpoint, my perception, period. I'm not saying I'm diagnosing anybody. I'm not saying I'm a therapist diagnosing anybody. Just give me every disclaimer you want right here. I'm not trying to portray myself as a therapist, a doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or even a life coach. I'm not doing any of that. I am simply telling you, this is what I see. This is what I think is causing what I see. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So take that as it is and, do whatever you want with it. So we have 1 minute before 1. And then I will begin telling you what I think and sharing some scenery with you, if you will. I'm going to do my best to get back and mark all of these links in the description as soon as I am finished so that you can go and watch exactly where I took all this information from and what I showed you so that I'm not, doing anything to break any rules. Any rules that are broken, I probably won't realize that they're rules till after the fact because I try really hard to follow YouTube's rules. And so far, I have not had any problems. So hopefully I'm doing everything right in this video as well, and I don't have any issues henceforth. Okay. So it is 12:59. I am going to see if I can bring up the very first part of what I want to show you. Let's see. I'm going to share this screen with you in just a minute. We're going to watch a very quick clip. Now, this doesn't exactly mark any type of personality disorder. What this does show, in my opinion, is a bit of deception in the micro expression of the face. So I'm going to shut this off first of all. Make this bigger so you can see it. It is 1 o'clock. Welcome, everybody. I am Elle, and I am going to be doing a little bit of sharing on what I think of Amber Heard based on her micro expressions. And do I think there are some BPD traits there, borderline personality traits? We're going to talk about what borderline personality is, and then I will explain if I think she has traits of it or not. Okay. But first, I'm going to show you this little scenery here. I want you to watch very carefully. I have the sound turned down because it's not about the sound. I want you to watch the face. Did you watch how quickly the face turned? Let me put it back to where it was. Oh, I went back too far. Sorry. She definitely knows how to change facial expressions quickly. Anyway, it kind of reminds me of my former narcissist's death glare that she used to give me. Oh, let's see. You're for Depp. Although, yes. I do agree. I don't know about the gold digging part because I'm not really going to touch on that per se. But and AC says bad acting. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely label it that for sure. The next thing I want to show you, I'm going to wait a minute because I want to talk a little bit about what borderline personality, some of the traits that they actually are. Now, some of the people that I actually watched to get some information for this video that I'm doing now are Janine Driver, who I believe she worked with. It was either the FBI or the CIA or one of those very important type of government agencies that try to find out if people are telling the truth or not. But her name is Janine Driver. She was the one I got a lot of information from, a lot of perceptions from, because I feel that she's like way above me, heads above me. And I'm not even a pea on her pinky fingernail. I just admire and listen. I love listening to her, and I think she's got some amazing perceptions of things. It really helps me to understand people a little bit more too. So she's kind of a behavior analyst, sorry. And then there's Shannon Curry, who was, I believe, Amber Heard's therapist at one point. Now, the interesting twist on that is that Johnny Depp was the one that hired Shannon Curry to actually analyze, evaluate, if you will, Amber Heard. So that kind of puts a twist on things for his or for her side. You know, Johnny Depp was the one that hired her. Of course, he's got issues against her. Doesn't that seem a bit fishy? I get that. However, I believe a lot of what Shannon Curry was saying, except I, on the other hand, do not see so much histrionic personality traits in Shannon or in Amber Heard. I just don't. I see more of the BPD traits and I see narcissistic traits. That's what I see. And then, of course, Shannon was the forensic psychologist. Watch Hidden True Crime. I will make a note of that. Hidden True Crime. I'll definitely write that down. Yeah, if any of y'all want me to watch some things, I'm happy to do that. I'm not all into the true crime, as you know, but this case interests me because it came to my attention years ago when it first started. So sometimes with me, if I saw something a long time ago and then I see it resurface, I'm interested in finding out more about it. Hey, Spoof, how are you doing? Good to see you. All right, so let's talk about what the traits of BPD, borderline personality, are, some of them. And I'll kind of interject where I, in my opinion, see this in some of the interactions between her and Johnny Depp, as noted in the court and their own testimonies. So borderline personality disorder, in my opinion, and I actually years ago was diagnosed as borderline, not otherwise specified. You've probably heard certain people mention, oh, well, Dee Dee, which I used to be, just she had a diagnosis of borderline. That's why she's so crazy, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just eccentric. I'm very different than everybody else, and I like that about myself. So, but yes, I did have borderline otherwise specified. And the reason I was diagnosed with that is because I had very, very severe abandonment issues for years. I don't any longer have those, although, like, not to that extent. I do still have them, but not to the extent that I would beg somebody to stay because I was terrified that if I didn't see them again, they were going to disappear from my memory or whatever. My opinion is if you don't like me that much and you want to leave me, girl, bye, boy, bye. That's kind of how I see it now. But years ago, I would have clung to your leg and begged you to not walk out on me. That's why I feel a bit qualified to talk about borderline personality traits because I had one of them, fear of abandonment. That is the main thing behind borderline personality disorder is this fear of being alone, fear of being abandoned. But it's not like you think that, oh, they just don't want to be by themselves. They don't want me to leave because they love me so much. It's more once we decide that you, I'm saying we in my past, decide that you are our target person, our love of our life, the person we can't live without, which I say that now and think it's so silly and dumb. Once we feel that is the case and you even have to hang up the phone, we freak out. Not because of you being that prized possession or prized person, but because of a feeling inside us that we no longer exist if you are not present with us. We actually get our worth and our sense of self-identity from, yes, I am, membrane. Yes, basically, yes. Anyway, so we get our sense of self-identity by having that other person with us. So when you disappear, it's like we disintegrate. We no longer exist. And I don't mean like we just fade away. I mean like poof, you're gone, we are gone. Literally, that's how, and it's an intense feeling. It's like we wear our feelings on our outside. It's like somebody ripping a scab off of a wound. It hurts badly. So that's why there's that desperation. Oh, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Yeah, that used to be me. Hold on a second. I'm trying to read some comments in here. Yeah, of course. Definitely Kimberly Mack. Yes. Okay, so that's one of the things is that fear of abandonment. Impulsiveness. People that have borderline personality. Now, obviously, I'm going to qualify this by saying not every single person with BPD or NPD or HPD or APD or whatever PD you have been diagnosed with. Not all people act exactly the same. So you cannot do this like a one size fits all, except there are patterned behaviors that are common with most people that have these disorders. So even though somebody might, cling to somebody's leg when they're leaving them, the other person might just like shrink into a corner and cry. So there's not even all common reactions with everybody. People as a whole, human beings are individuals. Everybody reacts in different ways for different reasons. A lot of it has to do with your upbringing, how you were responded to when you would have these reactions. So it's not that I'm saying, well, everybody that has borderline is going to cling to your leg. No, not necessarily. It depends on the person. There's just different reactions based on the feelings behind it. So keep that in mind when I'm talking. Anyway, so impulsiveness, yes. People with borderline often have like an impulsive nature about them where they do things without thinking of the repercussions or the consequences. Because in the moment, this is how they feel. So they're going to act on it and deal with it later as things all crumble down on their head, basically. And that impulsiveness can come in many forms. Addictions are not uncommon when you have the BPD traits. A lot of people with BPD have drinking problems. They have drug problems. They are sexually promiscuous. Spending problems like shopping with money they really can't afford to spend because they have bills due, that sort of thing. So yes. Yeah, I understand that, membrane. I know, because they say with the micro expressions, I think it was Janine Driver saying that you look at their forehead first. And yeah, if you've had Botox, I'm pretty sure those lines are kind of smoothed out. But there's something for me personally, I look at the eyeballs. And I'm not, yeah, it does look like Sybil Shepherd. I'm not looking at the wrinkles around the eyes, or are they smiling right, or whatever, all the time. The first thing I look at is the eyes. What are the eyes doing? Are they shifting? Are they looking straight ahead? Does it feel like they're boring a hole through you? Are they rolling? Are they blinking? That's the first thing I always look at, because eyes are truly the window to the soul, in my opinion. Hold on, I need to get a fan up here. I am flipping sweating here. It gets hot in this room really fast. 1 second. Sorry, I should have put this on to begin with, but I didn't know I would start feeling so overheated quickly. Okay. Figure out if I can clip this on the side of the desk or not. I probably can't. Maybe I can. Okay, there. Hi, guys. Now, where's the button to turn it on? Oh, there we go. Okay. Another part of, just a second, this thing does not want to stay on my desk. Another part of borderline personality disorder is attention seeking. There's a little bit of attention seeking. Now, usually we associate this with histrionic personality disorder, but I think the attention seeking for borderline comes in the fact of needing that significant other close by, and to notice them and to kind of sing their praises a bit. Although a lot of people with borderline personality disorder do not like a lot of attention, like directly on them. There's still that part in them that wants attention. They want you to take care of them. They want you to care about what they're going through, and, you know, listen to what they're saying and feel what they're feeling. And yeah, all of that, that's all true. And it's not, I mean, everybody kind of wants a listening ear, of course, but we're talking about disorders here. So you're talking about extremes to the point where you feel like the life is being sucked out of you. That's kind of what it is like to be on the receiving end of people that have this disorder in extremes. Anger is another thing that Janine Driver mentions, that borderlines are often going to show angry feelings. I have actually seen this in an ex-boyfriend that I had when I decided that there was just a lot of unhealthiness going on. He fluctuated from begging me to stay to becoming very angry at me. Like, oh, please don't go. We can work this out. Please, let's talk about it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I can't. I can't do it anymore. It's just, it's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for me. We clearly are not compatible. And he went from begging me to stay to, fine, I guess you made up your mind. I'm not going to say anything else about it then. Just go. You're a blankety blank B, you know, and it just went from very quickly, please stay, to, I hate you. I don't know what I ever saw in you. I was stupid to think this could ever work out. That's very borderline behavior right there. And we do see that in some of the clips that they played of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, for sure. Okay, I'm going to take this screen down for a moment. Okay, I'm going to also tell you like some of the adjectives that people have used in comments to describe Amber Heard, just based on what they've seen. And many of these people have watched her movies and have seen interviews with her. And many of them have inside scoops on who she is. Maybe some of them even know her, for all I know. I know I don't, nor would I want to. But a lot of people have that inside scoop on her. And these are just comments that they have made about her. And I'll do that in just a minute. So both histrionic personality disorder and borderline personality disorder can be comorbid, which means they can occur together. Is it possible that there's also complex post-traumatic stress disorder? There is somebody in this case that thought maybe, or diagnosed, Amber with CPTSD. I can't say if she does or doesn't have that. Since it can be comorbid with the other disorders, it's possible. She also went through abuse as a child. She was raised by, I believe, an alcoholic father, maybe. And she didn't grow up in a normal environment. So some of that could have come from that. And a lot of times when we are raised in emotionally abusive environments, we attach to other individuals who emotionally abuse us or who we emotionally abuse. So that's possible. All of those things could be possible. A personality can be made up of many facets, and many disorders can come into play. It just depends about the whole big picture. And like I said, I don't know her to diagnose her. So I can only make speculations and perceptions here. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Yes, exactly true, membrane. Thank you. Brain deficits, blunt trauma to the head, lead poisoning can also cause these issues. Rape can cause this issue. Prolonged abuse can cause that issue. Now, in the CPTSD diagnosis, from what I have learned, it has to be something so severe that you feel like you are near death, like that person is going to kill you. They have not determined, from my understanding, that any of the episodes that Amber Heard has been through have caused her to feel like she was going to die. So I don't know if we can legitimately say she has that diagnosis of CPTSD or those traits of that. So I'm not really touching on that at this point because I don't know. So let's see. Intense fear of abandonment. There's an instability in relationships with people with borderline personality disorder. Yes, I have been in relationships with people with BPD. One definitely diagnosed with it. Told me herself that her doctor diagnosed her with it. Her husband also told me her doctor diagnosed her with it, as did her family tell me that. And you could see it. The thing about personality disorders that you need to remember is it is invasive. It's pervasive. That means most of your life and most of your reactions and most of what you do, they're going to see these disorders played out, your reactions played out in this way. It's not, oh, well, she's just trying to be a diva queen, so she's narcissistic. No, wrong. Just because somebody's show-offy or even bossy or anything like that does not mean that they're narcissistic or that they are a narcissist. You have to see this invading the whole or the most of the majority of that person's life. And generally by that time, if you are borderline or histrionic or narcissistic, you're having a lot of issues and it's affecting your whole life. And you know it is. Now, obviously narcissists don't always or rarely ever realize that they are the problem because that's part of the disorder. They like to project on other people. They don't like receiving responsibility for what they do wrong. But in most of the cases of borderline, from my experience and from what I know about it, what I've studied in school about it, that borderline is going to become very depressed because everything in them is affecting everything around them. They can't keep friendships. They can't hold jobs. They're making everybody angry. This is what I've been told by borderline people. You wouldn't want to get close to me because as soon as you do, your life will fall apart and I don't want to do that to you. That's how they feel. They feel very, very self-condemning, people with borderline personality disorder. So yes, it's they don't feel good about themselves. They're very self-deprecating. I've met a male that has it and I've met a female that has it. And I can tell you, it isn't something that they turn on and off. It's something that they literally live through. This is how they react to things. It's how they perceive things. They think everybody's out to get them, or they're paranoid. Somebody's plotting to hurt them, or someone's trying to cost them their job or take away their kids. And the thing to remember is 9 times out of 10, they don't really have evidence of it. It's just something they feel. It's something they fear and something they feel. So they react to it by clinging to people, begging them not to leave, or being really angry and casting them aside, replacing with other people sometimes. Okay. It's very similar to narcissistic personality disorder. The only difference from my point of view, and my opinion, and my experience, borderlines tend to fear abandonment, so they don't want to push you away. Not that they don't push you away, but they don't want to. And narcissists want to control. So they kind of want you there until you don't serve their purpose anymore. Borderlines don't see you as much of an object as narcissists do. Narcissists want to use you for their good pleasure. And borderlines just, I don't think half of them know why they do what they do. Narcissists, I'm kind of leaning towards, yeah, they kind of see what they're doing, but they don't care. So in my opinion and my viewpoint, that is what, that's what goes on there. Okay. Next. All right. A lot of paranoia, risky behaviors is very common with people with borderline personality disorder. I'm going to shut this or move this over actually. So yeah, they, like I said, addictions, compulsions, spending, that kind of thing. Self-harm is another thing with people with borderline personality disorder. Hi, Lee. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you? So we're talking about cutters, people that cut, people that brand themselves, people that burn themselves. I think a lot of people that get tons and tons of piercings, many of them have borderline personality traits. The cutting, the piercing, the burning, the branding, all that stuff is like a dopamine hit for them. And it makes them feel good temporarily. And then all the pain comes flooding back in, and the fears and the paranoia and the sadness and depression. And then they have to cope with it all over again. It has to be truly miserable to have BPD, like in the fullest form of it. I can't even imagine living life that way, constantly crying and then laughing and then screaming and feeling like everybody hates you and then everybody adores you and you love and hate everybody else. I don't even have a concept of what that would be like. That would be awful. I know even my own past fears of abandonment caused me to be very clingy to people and very uncomfortably clingy. And then on the flip side, when I got the healing and the counseling and therapy and stuff to get over my own issues, then I had somebody on the other side clinging to me. And I remember thinking, gosh, this must be what I did to other people. How awful. How do people get through this kind of thing? It's just, it's so uncomfortable. Let's see, extreme happiness, extreme anger, sadness. They can become very bitter and sarcastic at times and just say things that are very cutting. Narcissists also can do this to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just had the indecency of saying that to me. You know, who talks to somebody like that? Who says those things? They're very shocking people. Although, like I said, I'm more skilled in talking about narcissism, but there's such a fine line between it. And it's so comorbid that both of the disorders can be there. So you're kind of seeing some of each at times. And I think in my case, I did. That's a good question. I wouldn't put it past the idea that it could be because it's all going to increase that dopamine response. And everybody that is in science and has studied the human body and the human mind knows that the human tends to go towards pleasure rather than pain. And since a borderline is constantly feeling the pain and the fear of abandonment, the fear of being hurt and rejected, it would stand to reason they would do something to invoke pleasure. So yes, I think tattooing could possibly, I can't guarantee it, but it could possibly fit in there. I mean, you're getting poked with a needle repeatedly. And yes, there is a pain receptor in your skin, but I have been told people have even been stimulated in certain ways by getting tattoos. So it's dopamine. It's a body response that feels pleasurable. Humans seek pleasure rather than pain. Would totally make sense, Membrane. Good point. Okay. And this is Janine Driver's explanation, I believe, of histrionic personality disorder. Histrionics take things very personally. If you criticize something about them, they get very upset about it. Oh, no, not in all cases, Lee. I'm just saying that people with BPD may use that as a form of stimulating the dopamine response. That's what I was saying. Histrionics are unwilling to change. They feel that, this is who I am and I love myself. I adore myself. And I've said I'm histrionic. I don't know if I could be diagnosed with the personality disorder. I don't think I could, because I don't have a lot of the other traits like dressing like sleazy and showing off my body for the sake of luring people. No, I don't do that. In fact, I find that very distasteful and immodest and ungodly. So I don't do that. Histrionic people do not like negative critique, and they often feel that things are not their fault. It's everybody else, similar to like a narcissist, which a lot of narcissists have histrionic personality disorder as well. Yes. I agree. I'm going to put this up on the screen because I do agree with that. I think the Me Too movement is going to get a kick in the hiney from this whole thing if it doesn't go the way Miss Heard is wanting it to go. Johnny will be vindicated, and Miss Heard, who knows what will happen to her. A lot of people are saying throw her in prison for all the abuses. Not sure what the statute of limitations would even be on that, if that was the case that it could possibly happen. I'm fine with her going to prison and doing a little prison time because it sounds like she's very abusive. Now, okay, people are going to say, yeah, but, it was provoked, blah, blah, blah. In my opinion, and from my standpoint, if something is that bad in a marriage, for me, I'm going to leave the marriage, or I'm at least going to get out of the house and not sit there and punch somebody or put my cigarette out on their face or whatever alleged things that she did based on the testimonies. If you're that miserable with somebody, even some of the time, why stay? Now, I know there's been theories of why she stayed and stuff, but I just wouldn't. I wouldn't lash out. That's not my way of doing things. I would leave. So I do think there's instability there, probably in both of them. But I'm not talking about Johnny today per se. I'm talking about her because I am way more leaning pro Johnny in this situation than I am pro Amber. It did bother me to sit and listen to Johnny's side of things because it took him forever to say anything. But I have since learned that introverts are a lot like that. They're very slow to speak. They're very careful in what they say. They're very uncomfortable being put in the limelight, even though he's an actor. He portrays different, wild and crazy characters because he can, and probably because he actually is not like that. Hi, Super Syria. Welcome. But I think, where was I going with this? I totally lost my train of thought. Gosh. But yeah, I think Johnny tends to be a bit introverted in his personality. I don't know about Amber if she's an introvert or an extrovert. I don't like her personally. I don't like her personality. Yeah, and yeah, I know, Kimberly. I mean, I don't know, did they say for sure she was the one that did it though? Because I had heard he did it and then I heard she did it. So did they actually say? Because I definitely don't want to make a blanket statement on something I am not absolutely, or at least almost absolutely sure about. You don't endorse prison. Oh, okay. Gotcha, membrane. Important point. Yeah, she's been through enough, etc. Well, I personally don't like her, don't like her, so it wouldn't bother me that she went to prison. I think she's very abusive, and these are my opinions, of course. She makes me uneasy just watching her, and I think she's very phony. Okay, so also, these are some of the things I've already said. I don't know why I wrote them twice. Shallow affect is another thing. The first time I ever witnessed shallow affect was with the narcissist that abused me years ago. Oh, okay, Kimberly. Okay. She always had this very, look like Amber, this very straight look on her face. And when she would laugh, she would literally go, ha ha. That's how she laughed. She hardly ever like belly laughed. Just very, what shallow affect is you don't do extremes of emotions. So you're not ever miserable, sad, like really genuinely teary and bawling to the point where you're like a sniveling mess, unless you're acting and mimicking. But deep down inside, you're not really feeling that. And you don't feel extremes of anger to where you go into like an extreme rage. Yes, you get angry. Yes, you do damaging things, but it's an emotional response. Hi, Lala. How are you? How's it going? Good to see you again. I think you've been in my room once, maybe. Yeah. I understand what you're saying, membrane. I understand. So yeah, there's the shallow affect. To me, when I hear shallow affect, that means people are just like, duh, they don't smile, they don't laugh, they're just kind of blah, blah. That's the way I would explain it. Blah. Lack of expressive of emotions. They often will threaten with the legal system. I'm going to divorce you. I'm going to get your kids taken away from you. I'm going to get your job taken away from you. I think some people on here might have BPD for real, and other things. Splitting is another thing that's very common in a lot of personality disorders, especially the cluster B ones. They either love you or hate you. They see you as wonderful and magnanimous, and I never met anybody like you. You are exactly who I was looking for. I adore you. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. And as soon as you do something they don't like, or you don't respond the way they want, or you don't give them the attention they want, I hate you. Get away from me. I don't even want to be seen with you. I don't know what I ever saw in you. You're not who I thought you were. You are dirt. You're icky. You're gross. You're a blankety blank, beep, 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 splitting. You're either all good, you're all bad, you're all black, you're all white. That is more a narcissistic thing, but I have seen borderline people with that disorder portray those type of lash out behaviors about it. So yeah, it could probably happen with that too. Evidence of this in Amber Heard, which I have heard by somebody else on a different channel say, is she was telling Johnny at one point, you're pathetic, you're going to die an old man. Don't quote me on this. I don't get it exactly right. You're going to die a pathetic old man, a lonely, washed up actor. And then very shortly after that, she's pleading with him to stay, don't leave her. That's borderline behavior, in my opinion. That's borderline traits. Anytime I see that, I hate you, you're awful, you're this, you're that, you're worthless, you're useless without me. And then very soon after, oh, please, 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 please stay. Don't leave me. I can't live without you. Oh, I hate when I hear people say, I can't live without you. Yes, you can. Believe me, if that person, I don't care how much you love them, like them, adore them, whatever, if they walk out the door, I guarantee you over time, if you work on yourself, you will go on living without them. In fact, the very next day, you will breathe again, most likely, unless you die of heartbreak, which there is a thing of that. But 9 times out of 10, or most of the time in society, when people feel they can't live without somebody, they somehow go on living. Sometimes they even find somebody new, amazingly. Yeah, I know, Lala. But people are questioning her diagnosis. I'm just telling you why I believe that there are traits of that. I really do believe that. But I'm not a therapist. I'm just giving perceptions based on my own education and experience with other people that were diagnosed with it. I'm seeing similar traits, is what I'm saying. Okay. There's the question of, did she fake injuries? What do I think of that? She's an actress. I think it's possible. I think she could have used makeup and taken pictures. I don't know for sure. I wasn't there. I wasn't in her bedroom, her boudoir, her makeup room, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that we have heard any testimonies of doctors from either Johnny or her. So I can't make a blanket statement. No, he did not injure her. No, she did not have legit injuries. No, she did not get treated for anything. I can't say that. I did not. And I'm telling you based on the little bit that I've seen, I don't know. So, okay. Fake tears. That's definitely a yes. That I have seen. She has, we're going to see that in a minute on these clips that I'm showing you. That she does everything from the down turned lips like that and the face, you know, the distress and, oh, I'm such a poor persecuted victim type of thing. And maybe she was to an extent, but I'm not buying most of her act. I'm just not. Like I said, I could totally be off the wall here and wrong, but I'm telling you from my perception, I'm not buying it. I know when somebody is genuinely in distress. I have coached and counseled many people who were losing it. They were not all put together. They did not dab at their eyes or their nose. They didn't care. When you are genuinely in distress, if you have been assaulted, because I have been assaulted, you bawl. You don't care about anything around you, anyone. You are lost in that emotion. You are pouring your heart out. You are dying inside. You're choking up your words. You're not dabbing at your eyes and making sure your makeup is perfect. No, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I'm just not. So, smirk of contempt. You guys have heard of the look of contempt, the smile of contempt. There's a word for it. I can't think of what it is. Maybe you guys can tell me what it is. But we're going to see that in a minute on one of the videos, I believe. Let's see if I can find that one. This might be it, or maybe I've already played it. I'm not sure. Let me get this video to play for you for a moment. It's a deception thing is what it is. But it's kind of this grin, but yet it's a snide type of grin. I think this is the one, maybe. Duper's Delight. Thank you. That's what I saw. Duper's Delight. Yes, correct. Okay, I'm going to play this. I don't have the sound, of course, because I want us to really watch the facial expressions. Blinking also shows deception. She definitely blinks a lot. This is not my video. I'll definitely post where I got the video from. They're showing in slow motion exactly what her face is. There's the Duper's Delight right there. So you've seen it in slow motion. The reason I used somebody else's video, which I will give credit to, Duping Delight, thank you, is because I don't know how to slow down videos and do all that stuff very well. I'm not that good at, doing that kind of screencasting, and I'm just not brilliant at computers. I haven't even figured out how to do like the fancy little cartoony type videos that people do yet. So I'm just borrowing little clips, and I will give credit to, of course, all of the people that provided these clips, the original videos. I'm not taking credit for any of that. Okay, so that was Duping Delight. Also, hand to the lip is also a good indication of deception. I do know that. All right, I'm going to just show you, if I can. Let me stop this screen and put up the next one. Where is it? Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. I'm just going to show you, go down a few of these videos, just kind of read you some of the titles. These are other people's videos. A lot of deception. This is from Janine Driver, where she talks about if her testimony is believable based on her deception, alleged deceptive facial expressions. Judge disapproves of her evidence. Body language expert is analyzing her and saying, yeah, it's not adding up. The assault with the bottle. People aren't buying that very well because they're like, if you had a broken bottle inside of you, why were you not calling the police? Why would you just, let it go? Whatever. And I agree with that. If I had a bottle broken up inside of me, I would be on 911 faster than your head would spin. Seriously. I don't understand that sort of thing of somebody not taking action if something so severe is done to them. It just does not add up. It doesn't make sense to me. All right. No tears. She's lying. People testified against her. Fake injuries. Language expert analyzes her. The severed finger thing. Grossly exaggerated PTSD claims. The psychologist is saying she doesn't buy that PTSD. Johnny tried to warn us about her way back when, I guess. Let's see. Intimate partner violence was perpetrated. Shady, Amber Heard. And I'm not saying there aren't things out there about Johnny. I see way more about Amber lately than I do about Johnny as far as negative. Amber's evil testimony says she cried when evidence exposed her in court. So, yeah, I mean, there's enough on here to definitely pretty much desecrate her testimony or attempt at one. Oh, I know, Lala. I just found that out today. I saw the article about how she abused her ex-wife. And that I guess the ex-wife did not press charges or did not keep pressing charges or something. I don't remember. But yeah. So I'm just not buying it. I'm not. Sorry, guys. Anybody that does buy it, you're entitled to your opinion. I just, you can't prove it to me. Okay, so next, I'm going to share this last thing, and then we can discuss. We can talk about it. It's not just all about what I think. If you think otherwise, okay. Okay, I am going to... It's not it. Where is it? Oh, this one. Okay, this this really got me. I have to say, this was the icing on the cake. Let me put this up here. Yeah, I did already. Okay. I didn't know if it took. Is this the right one? No. Wait a second. Now we're going to do this one first. I got to find it again. Sorry. Like I said, I am not good at this at all. So she apparently quoted from, I think it's called The Talented Mr. Ripley. She quoted from it referring to Johnny Depp. She literally quoted a script, a couple lines of a script to describe Johnny Depp and like used it like it was her own words. That, my dear friends, is very typical of people with BPD traits. They mimic, they mock, they imitate, they repeat what you say. That is what they do, definitely. And she definitely has done that. And people have caught her. And people have been posting it everywhere. This woman actually quoted from a movie under oath. Just to sound flowery, I guess. And that's why I guess maybe they lean towards the histrionic personality disorder diagnosis, because she does do a lot of flowery, exaggeratory things. So yeah, that would kind of lean towards that. Okay, I want to post this last one for you here. I'm probably not telling you anything you haven't already thought or haven't already noticed or whatever. But I like to talk about it because I feel like I have a voice and I like to use it and give my opinion. So that's pretty much it. So we're going to talk about a few of the things she said. These are based on witnesses, apparently, who allegedly, claimed the abuses that went on in the situations. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm going to kind of skip around. So I shouted at Johnny, words to the effect of, "Come with me, you are coming with me." I then took his arm, trying to move him out, but he broke away. I said again, words to the effect of, "Johnny, come with me." It wasn't easy, but I did get him outside. I had the car door open, and when we were outside, Johnny said to me words to the effect of, "Look at my finger. She's cut my effing finger off. She smashed my hand with a vodka." Hang on. Got to let the thing play so it goes to the next page. Bottle. I saw his finger and it was a mess. He told us that she had put a cigarette out on his cheek. I could see the mark on his face. So he's, allegedly already hurt. He's had the top of his finger cut off. His face is probably burning from a cigarette being put out on it. I do know a girl personally that had that done to her. She's one very messed up, mentally deranged adult, unfortunately. She's a sweetheart, but she's really messed up. And then it says Amber appeared at the door. Now, mind you, if this is true, Johnny's already hurting. She comes to the door, came close to the car, screaming and crying out, calling out words along the lines of, "Are you just going to leave it like this, you effing coward?" Then she was saying, "I love you. I love you. Is this how you're going to end this?" Yeah. That to me right there is BPD. Those two things right there pretty much spell out borderline personality disorder traits as far as I'm concerned. One of the main things that the quoting from Mr. Ripley was reported inaccurate. Explain, membrane. Explain. I may be off base here. I'm willing to take correction. If I'm off base, that's fine. Let's see here. Okay. Regardless, she's very flowery in how she expresses things. Here's somebody saying, "I could see Amber's face very clearly. She didn't have any marks on her face or arms. She didn't look in any physical distress. I was much more concerned about Johnny." Okay, so this lady, she does a lot of really good videos. I would do a shout out to her for sure in a heartbeat. She's one of my favorites. She's from Live Abuse Free. There's Amber Heard with her girlfriend. There were abuse allegations of her towards the girlfriend. That girlfriend looks familiar to me. I think she's dated other women in Hollywood. All right. I don't know if there's anything else I need to show on this video at all. But yeah, things are not, they're not lining up. Takes advantage of others. Yeah, for sure. I could see that. All right. So I'm going to stop there. I don't want to play the whole video because I don't want to, plagiarize anything here without giving credit, which I will be. I will be giving credit. Okay. So yeah, in my opinion, I see Amber as very guilty of abuse, of lies, of embellishments, of fakery, like faking injuries, faking things that went on. I see her as a highly toxic individual. I would like to know about other relationships that she's had and how they went, not just the girlfriend, but friendships maybe that dissolved. Because one thing I do know about people that have NPD, they leave behind them very broken lives of other people that they've destroyed in one way or another. So if anybody would come to me and say, "Oh yeah, she had this friend and that friend, and this is what happened," and it was all her, it wasn't the other person. They were just trying to please her and they couldn't. And so she discarded them and replaced them with the next person. I would know automatically, oh, narcissistic traits right there. There wouldn't be a question in my mind for that. But we don't know that, or at least I don't know that. I don't know about her other relationships or anything more about her other than just this trial and what happened way back when people started posting the abusive videos of them in the apartment and stuff. Of course, they were slanted more that Johnny Depp was the abuser back then too. So again, this is all just my speculation, my perception. That's it. As far as Johnny Depp, he seems more like the victim to me. I'm not saying he did not lash out and fight back, Because when somebody's coming at you with a lit cigarette, I assume you'd probably at least put your hands up. And I know from being married to who I'm married to that there are times I try to defend myself and accidentally cut him with my nail or step on his foot or whatever. And he is a highly sensate type of individual. So I hurt him without meaning to. It's kind of a joke we have between us where he talks about how I abuse him, but I really don't abuse him. It's just he's coming at me to tickle me or something. And I'm like, whoa, stop. And I'm flying my hands around and I catch him with my nail or something. So yeah, that could have happened. Johnny could have put his hands up to defend, or if he was in an addictive state, he could have smashed things and maybe smacked her or done something to her. I don't know. I know that there are people that can drink and use pot and stuff like that and not have it turn them into a complete monster. I realize that. I'm still against the whole smoking of pot and drinking, getting drunk thing. Not drinking, but getting drunk. I'm very much against it. But I have to be realistic, and I have to tell you, I know people that can do it. I know people personally that do it. And you probably wouldn't know that they were using pot. You wouldn't know that they had been drinking because for some reason their brain doesn't react in an aggressive way. So it's not everybody. And I know that. But in this case, apparently, as they used to say, this person couldn't hold their liquor. I don't think Johnny could hold his liquor, or he drank way more than he needed to be trying to hold. So I do think he had some sort of culpability in the situation. But I'm leaning way more towards Amber being the victimizer. I just am. I'm not buying her phony act. I'm not buying her body language and her just the way she flips her eyes around and her head around it. It's just not convincing to me. If I was the judge, I would not rule in her favor for the most part. I would see her as the abuser because she clearly was. She clearly abused him, at least in my opinion, and from what I know of the actual, testimonies and stuff. But I'm going to show you this one more time, and I'm going to shut my mouth because I've already said a lot, and it's enough to try to digest all that stuff. Yeah, the mixing of drugs and all that. I'm going to share this one last thing because this, to me, is extremely telling. Extremely telling. So I am going to, is this the one? Yes. I'm going to play this one more time. Let me see here. Yeah, this. You can just judge for yourself, It almost looks like the video was clipped, and I would have thought that it was, except I saw her do it. I was there during that period of time watching that. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I just, I'm not buying it. Yeah, I know she was. I know. I heard about that too, Lala. Definitely. So yeah, there's enough anyway that shows that she's deceptive. There's something rotten in Denmark, y'all. Something very rotten in Denmark, and it's not even in Denmark. Just not convincing. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the floor. So I don't need to probably get any more tea for a little while. I've been talking so much I haven't drank my tea. Let me pop up some of these comments and maybe we can talk. Maybe I missed something. I don't know how far back. Oh, I can go all the way back to the beginning. Marley probably had to go to work, so she popped in for a bit and said, hey. So thank you, Marley, for coming in always. AC Slater popped in. I have a feeling I know who that actually is. That's all right. At least they were behaving decently. I can't complain. Kimberly says that drugs and alcohol can use to abusive personality, and she thinks that Amber Heard is a gold digger. I could see that. Kimberly says, watch Hidden True Crime. I got that written down. I'm going to check it out. Spoof popped in and said hello, but didn't say anything else. Spoof, are you still here? She might be working. Membrane, thanks for coming along because you definitely have some good wisdom about everything here. AC Slater is there. S. Garcia knows something about BPD, says that it can go into remission but never goes away, like it doesn't get cured. I'm a faith believer, so I'm not sure I buy that either. I don't know if I believe that. I believe God can heal things, so. But from a psychological standpoint, I could see why somebody would believe that it can't be. I understand. Eye on the Sparrow. Yeah, I get it now, AC Slater. She had her eye on Jack Sparrow. That's what you were saying. It took me a minute to, because like I said, I'm not a Pirates of the Caribbean fan, so I really never even watched it a whole lot. Membrane made a good point here. If your brain thinks it, the body reacts in kind. The mind truly can affect physical attributes via faux neurosignaling. That makes sense. Membrane, you're brilliant. I'd love to interview you sometime if you're open to it. I'd love to know more of what you know, because that's definitely stuff I'm interested in. AC Slater was being naughty and mean towards somebody, so I'm not going to tolerate that, so I had to block. My friend Lee RD is in here. Glad to see you again, Lee. Hope you're feeling better. We talked about a little bit regarding dopamine effect, how people go seeking towards pleasure rather than pain. And we talked about whether tattoos could possibly be a means of increasing that dopamine. I said yes. Some people don't agree. That's okay. Membrane talked about the Me Too movement. Yeah. It's definitely going to change the face of that for sure. Kim says that Amber was the one that cut the finger off the tip of the finger and blamed it jokingly, or Johnny blamed it on himself jokingly. Oh, Membrane wants Amber Heard in Aquaman 2. I won't watch any of that stuff anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. Oh, this is an interesting comment. Why am I apologizing to the Black community? I'm not sure on that. I'm about to go to an all-Black church tomorrow where I'm literally the only white person there. So I obviously don't have a problem with people's skin color. I prefer Black churches a lot of times to the others. So I don't need to apologize to any Black lives. That's just silly. Okay, let's catch up on these comments that are recent. She'll be broke after the trial and outcasted in Hollywood. I don't know how that works. Yeah, I think the thing about not making a police report just blows my mind. Kimberly says, nope, she's not creditable at all. Yep, very scripted. 6 years ago. Yeah, true. Again, apologize to the Black community. I apologize to the Black community, but I don't know what I'm apologizing for. I'm sorry if I did anything against the Black community. No clue what that means. Okay. One of her neighbors has elevator footage. Okay. Grandma Ducky says Amber Turd. Oh, I still have to read you the adjectives people use to describe her. I'm going to do that in just a minute. Going up to the penthouse in an elevator. Oh, wow. Yeah, caught in so many questionable statements here. Out and out lies in some cases, obviously. 2 bottles of wine a day. I know all about the bottles of wine thing because my friend Sarah, who died, did the same thing. I need to watch Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, I've seen like clips of it. I don't have the attention span to sit there through all that. And if it's violent, I probably wouldn't like it anyway because I don't like violence. But I have seen, scenes of it. I don't know. It's not my thing. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that people in comments during the trial or hearing or whatever. I think that's a hearing, right? It's not a trial. Or is it a trial? Maybe it's all a trial and there's just parts of it. I'm not sure. But they said she begs her partner to stay. And that was the first thing that gave away the whole BPD trade thing. Right after saying how he's such an awful person and, all these bad things about him, she's begging him to stay. Icy creepiness. This is how they describe Amber Heard. Icy creepiness. NPD. Narcissistic personality disorder. Controlling. Psychopath. Sociopath. A liar. A fake crier. Showing no tears. Her mask slipped. Erratic. Dramatic. And the whole thing could be a Lifetime movie. That's the kind of things people have said about it. So yeah, it definitely causes one to pause and consider a lot of things. What Hollywood is doing to people, what her childhood has done to people, etc. and so forth. So now I'm going to leave the floor open and you guys can just talk and make comments and whatever as long as you want. As soon as I see an ebb in the chat, then I will close, but I will let you banter a bit first. I'm trying to get Amber to come in and join us. She also has been following the case. Yes, Disney fired Johnny. I know. They did. Based on these allegations, which I believe that is why he's suing her, correct? Because of the op-ed that she posted. Not using his name, but clearly referring to what looks like to be stuff that happened between them. Maybe Lala, maybe not. I don't know. It depends. I mean, if they rule in his favor, maybe it won't be hard for him to get work. One thing to keep in mind, people in Hollywood and people in show business and entertainment like a lot of stirring up of stuff, negative or positive, a lot of times. So sometimes if they can get an actor in there that has a lot of history of hot topics behind their name, they might like that. They might like to hire that person because it's going to bring attention their way. They don't think like we do, like, oh man, there's like negative stuff going on. I don't want to be associated with that. Thank you. I was going for that, Lala. I was going for that professional look today because I'm talking about something that's kind of a, I don't know. It's more of a professional topic, I think, or something. I don't know what you would call it. It's less playful. It's not, we're not here for fun and games and goofiness and me doing my diamond painting. We're talking about a serious topic, abuse, domestic violence, alleged domestic violence possibly, and addiction and sexual abuse. So yeah, I'm a bit of a chameleon. I guess I change for the situation, But thank you. I appreciate the compliment very much. There you go. Lee just proved it. He's already slated for a big film. He flies out in the summer. He's probably just wanting to get through all this drivel so he can move on with his life, I'm sure. And isn't Amber remarried too? I know she adopted a baby or something from somebody's egg cells or whatever, in vitro type or no, surrogate situation. Yeah, that's another thing people are saying is they feel sorry for her kid, for her baby, her little girl. So I feel sorry for any child that's raised by an untreated person with borderline personality disorder traits or the disorder. If they're in treatment and they're dealing with their issues, that's different. But if it's untreated, undiagnosed, it can be pretty scary. Eating disorders is another thing that's very common with people with BPD traits. She had a girlfriend. Does she have one again? I thought wasn't she with Franco, or is she not with him anymore? I wasn't sure if that was current or. Oh, okay. Good to know, Kimberly. I didn't know all that about you, but thanks for sharing. Oh, she was married to the woman. Okay. I didn't know that about her. I didn't even know she had a girlfriend at one point that was a woman. So that was news to me as well. I just think she's shady and flaky. I can't buy the body language. I just, every time I watch her, I'm like, you're lying. You're lying. You're so lying. Her eyes are going all over the place and she's looking to see people's reactions. By the way, that's another trait of BPD. They watch people to see how they react so they know how to behave. More unsavage these days. Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, I think there are actual pirates in the world. I don't know exactly where they're located, and some of them are pretty vicious. Well, and then there's the question, is she acting or is it the BPD that's causing her to respond that way if she indeed has BPD? Because people with BPD can often come off as being very theatrical and dramatic. So it's hard to know. But what boils down to the point here is that there are facts and there are lies. And what they're trying to determine by the court case, I imagine, are what are the facts? What's true and what's not? How much of what you're saying, Johnny, is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And same with Amber. We're not looking for, this could have happened, it might have happened, or it might be that way. And again, this is weird for me because I, who have a very bad short-term and long-term memory ability, I'm sitting there thinking, what did I do 6 years ago? I don't even remember. Who was I with 6 years ago? How do you remember all that stuff? How do you remember the details? I guess because it was so traumatic, they would remember it. But calling upon somebody to remember something 6 years ago, to me, that's like almost impossible for me personally. But maybe other people have better memories than I do. I just think that's a long time to try to remember back to. What do you guys think? You guys remember where you were 6 years ago, what you were doing and who was with you and what you were saying, even more importantly? What were you saying in that moment? I mean, I can't remember back that far. I barely remember things from day to day, let alone 6 years ago. That would be a tall order to have me try to remember that. I always worry about if I ever get called in, like if I ever got in some kind of altercation with somebody and they put me on a stand and they start asking me questions, I'm not going to remember. There's my daughter, Amber. Thanks for coming in, Amber. We are talking about the case, the hearing, the trial. I don't know, whatever it's called. You'll have to rewind if you want to hear all the other stuff I said leading up to this. I showed a few clips. We're basically talking about the micro expressions, the duper's delight on her face. Did you see this one, Amber? Let me see if I can find it again. Where is it? It was when she thought the camera was off. This one, the micro expression thing. Here, let me share it so you can see it, Amber. This is the Amber I love right here. This is the real Amber, not Amber Heard. Although I did hear Amber today. My Amber. Let's see. I got to rewind it a little bit. This part. They slow it down for you. Blink, blink. She almost has Aspie eyes now that I'm looking at her. Like she has high functioning autism. Not saying she does. I'm just saying she has those kind of eyes. Kind of like my husband. Could be just her nationality for all I know. I don't know. Oh, her lawyer is something else. So what are your thoughts, my Amber, on Amber? Who better to testify about Amber than Amber? Not really testify, but you know what I mean. Give us some of your input and your thoughts on it, my child. Yeah, I kept wondering why everybody was calling her Amber Turd, but there was some instance where she actually pooped on his pillow or something. Who does that? I don't know if that would be a borderline trait, a narcissistic trait, or just an insanity trait. I don't, or maybe just an addict trait. Who does that? Poops on someone's pillow. That is like gross. I couldn't believe that. Some of the stuff, and the woman seems to be clearly obsessed with talking about her underparts and what was done to them. Oh, I know, Lee, I'm addicted to it. I have to honestly say, I found something, quote unquote, true crime related that actually has my attention because there's so many tells in it with the body language. Let's see what Amber says. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said, Amber. We agree on that. Yes, cross-examining. Is that the thing we're waiting for next week or whenever it is? Whenever they're reconvening or whatever? Yes, Lala. Cross-examination will be awesome. Ah, good point. Good point. I mean, I guess she tried to paint herself as the battered woman. You don't leave your house without the Bluetooth. Got it. Yeah, that's good. Got to have the Bluetooth. Oh, I am going to try to charge this fan and turn it on because it is getting muggy in here. Muggy. Hi, Nene. Let's see if this cooling fan does the trick. It's supposed to be cooler than other fans. I don't know. Then you're supposed to be able to add water to it and have it cool you even more. It's like there's water already in it, but it's not misting anything. Well, I guess people need to be careful of what kind of pranks they play, huh? Especially when it comes to abuse nowadays. I don't know. The whole thing is very weird to me, honestly. But it's Holly weird. So you're going to get what you get, unfortunately. I'm not seeing any mist come out of here, but it supposedly is. Oh, no mist. It's supposed to be a misting fan. Strange. Yeah, I believe that, Amber. For real. Johnny is almost broke. Hmm. Well, one thing is clear. They truly do not need to be together. Oh, wow. Welcome back, Lee. Oh, does anybody want to come up and chat with me? I do have StreamYard open, so you can if you like. I will post the link here. Uh-huh. I know. We both know, Amber. We both have met some. They really can be. Women can be very conniving and deceitful. Yep, for sure. My daughter speaks wisdom. What, Neil? What do you want, buddy? Come here. What do you want? Here, let me move this out of the way. Where are you going now? I just moved that so you can come on that side. Now you go to the other side, Goofy. Come here. Come here, Nana. All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyway, I think we covered everything there is to cover for now. We're just waiting for the cross-examination and I guess the final mandate on this trial, right? Oh, there we go. Amber talked. Huh. That would not surprise me one iota. Amber pocketed money that was supposed to go to charity. Unreal. By the way, I want to clarify something, not about this case, but in general. that I have had a discussion with somebody, but and they did warn me to not talk about a certain topic in person, and well, actually about a certain group of people. And I did anyway, because basically, well, they warned me not to talk about the person. I talked about the group. And the reason why I did is because, well, I can. So that's basically it. So yes, if anything comes of that, it will come down on my head, and I'm prepared to deal with that. Oh, wow. 7 million? Yikes. That's all I got to say about that. Meow, meow. Well, any other comments or statements or questions or concerns or whatever, not just on this or whatever topic you want to talk about, feel free. I'll wait a few minutes. If not, then I will end, because I've been on for 1 hour and 36 minutes approximately. So if there's nothing else to talk about, then there's no point in continuing to try to talk. Let me know. Not much more to say, honestly. The lady's got issues and he's got issues, and they have brought their issues into the limelight. So we are giving our opinions on them, and we will see how it all unfolds and where the chips fall, so to speak. Right, Mav? Mavi agrees. Thank you, Amber, for coming in and giving your opinion, your viewpoint. One last try. Does anybody want to come up to the panel or give any more comments? Apparently not. Okay, I'm going to get going then. I appreciated everybody for coming in and listening to me share my viewpoint on things, and I'm going to try to get all of the things that I shared posted as references, so I'm not accused of plagiarizing. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon in the next live stream or on the next video. Be blessed and shalom, everybody. Bye-bye.